Hello to another episode of the Swiss and John Show in cooperation with Jamie Opulence. We're doing something new. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, 11 o'clock here in Germany, and I'm joined by my friend Swiss. Swiss, how are you doing?
Hello, Jonathan. Doing good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the time and join us on this discussion. We also have two special guests, which I would like to introduce and say hello. First one is Jamie Opulence. Hello, good morning, Jamie. And
Hello.
Hey, Jamie.
Hello. Yeah, hi. Hello to everyone. Good
Yeah,
day.
and I've been pestering my friend Russ for a year now to participate in the Swiss and John show, and finally he decided to have his premiere here. Hello, Russ. Can you hear us?
Morning, gents. Morning, Jamie, John, and Swiss. Great to be here.
Good morning.
How are you doing, Russ?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good. A lovely sunny day here in the UK.
Are you stage nervous?
I don't think so. We'll see.
That's good to know. I thought I'm starting with an easy question to you, Russ, to introduce you. So, how many clutches does a triple split have?
But you know the answer, John. It's one.
Well, like always, the answer is incorrect. To everybody who doesn't get that in joke, Russ and I, we should have a standing line. Actually, we are texting back and forth since I've joined this community. I can say from my part, Russ became a very good friend of mine. Always supportive, always telling me when I'm screwing things up. Great watch knowledge.
Oh, that's why he's texting you all the time then.
That's exactly. Yes.
Yeah, my thumbs are worn out.
Somebody has to do it, you know. And Russ and we've been controversially discussing the term clutch in a chronograph now for, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days, back and forth, and we couldn't.
Seems longer, John.
Really? Yeah. I agree. So yeah, the topic of today's show is we are selling all our watches and limit ourselves to one and done. Would that work? Question mark. And this is a recording. We try to do that recording to accommodate some timing issues, and also not to be distracted by the comments. Not that we don't appreciate them, but we thought that we try this format, and let's see how that works. So hello to everybody who is listening to this recording. We will later put that up on the Swiss and John show and also on Jamie Opulence's channel. Russ, and this is your premiere today. So are you planning to having an own YouTube channel and doing live streaming?
Definitely not.
Russell's coming for the leads.
Yeah. When are we monetizing? No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's good to hear. So we can still very comfortable. So Swiss,
Yes.
you know the topic. We are selling all our watches and limit ourselves to one and done. Would that work for you?
It could work. To be honest, I would very much prefer to have more options than just one. But I guess that if I choose wisely, it can work.
Okay. So Jamie, you brought up that topic. I'll give you full credit for that. So maybe you would like to tell us a little bit about your motivation and background of that.
Yeah. So I like to think and ponder scenarios. And what it was, I was on a flight to Birmingham earlier this week, and I was just looking around. When you're into this watch business, you start like you glance across the room, you instantly recognize models. And anyway, I was on the flight and just looking around and just seeing normal people. Most likely, I guess that they just have one watch, and they wake up in the morning, they put on their one watch, and they go take the flight, and it it seems like a very simple life, and I'd compare that to myself. You know, before I make the trip to Birmingham, I make a couple of calls to different people. What watch do you think? Do you see what I'm saying? I have to consider the security risk, who I'm meeting. Is it going to be a formal with shirts, you know, shirt and trousers, or is it going to be, you know, all these? And I'm just thinking, what the hell is happening? Like you're like a prisoner in your own mind to this watch thing. And I just thought, wouldn't it be simple just to have one watch, or is that even an option?
So would it be safe to say that you brought up more thoughts to your watches than you brought up to the clothing that you were packing for the?
Oh,
that
for
big of a trip?
sure, for sure. It was. I mean, first of all, Birmingham is not really that nice of a place in terms of security. But then I clarify that with a friend. You know, oh, shall I wear the word time? And oh, no, you shouldn't wear the word time. That's too dangerous. You know, I'm just like, what the hell, man? This is just nuts. But yeah, too much thought.
Russ, have you been ever facing that dilemma or too many thoughts when you were going on a trip?
No, I tend to be quite focused if I'm going on a trip and decide on a piece to take. I'm a bit like Swiss. I'm sure I couldn't do a one and done now. Although for the purposes of this program, I'm going to try. But no, I don't have a qualm about what watch to take. I just take whatever I fancy based on where I'm going. So that
But you're usually taking one watch, or are you taking more of them?
no, never take more than one.
Okay.
Not on a trip. Too hard to keep hold of where they are if you got more than one.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and we all know those hotel safes are not safe at all.
Absolutely.
So it's always a hassle. And once I told my wife, I'm going down to the concierge and ask him to put a watch box into the hotel safe, and she said, "No, you're not, because then you're pulling the red flag and say, hey, there is something valuable. So you keep a low profile and use the room safe instead of making a big thing out of it."
Yeah, I have used the hotel safes when I felt it appropriate, but as you say, there is that quandary over exposing yourself to people knowing what you've got or maybe have got compared to squirreling it away in the room safe.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and just put the do not disturb sign on the door, so there's no reason for the cleaner to come in.
Yeah, I want the room clean though. I make a mess.
Yeah, me too. But it's a compromise.
yeah, for everybody to know, Russ has a background in heavy metal, so I've just been making this up, just for the record. So I'm a big fan. So I before COVID, I was cruising a lot, and I couldn't limit myself to one watch. So usually I'm having a sports watch when we're having an excursion or something where I can swim. But when we go to the theater, which is not really a posh place, but I like dressing up a little bit for dinner, and then usually we go to the theater and have a drink, and that is where I usually then change to a dress watch or a more dressy watch. So for me personally, when I'm traveling, I'm most of the time having two of them with me, I must confess.
But I like the idea of one, travel with one, and it's on the wrist, and that's it. It makes a lot of sense.
It makes things super much easier, because one of my nightmares is at the end when you're checking out, you forgot what is in your room safe, for example.
Yeah. Plus, your decision is then made before the trip. So once you're on the trip, there is no thinking to do of okay, we're going to dinner. Shall I change it to this one or
Quite the
that one?
contrary, because I'm always worrying. Then why didn't you bring that? I would
Yeah.
like to wear this and that now. So why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I bring that? So for me, it's quite the contrary. Actually, it doesn't give me a peace of mind. It gives me a little bit additional stress, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the psychology behind all of this is fascinating, and you know, there's I mean, it would be a massive opportunity for a psychologist to transition into watch community appointed psychologists offering sessions via Zoom.
I think we don't want this to happen, because probably we all end up in a straitjacket then.
Yeah.
So, so Ross, you've said it already on at the beginning that that you're totally against the concept of one and done, and this is unthinkable for you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think being realistic, a one and done has to be able to cater for every occasion, and I can't see how a watch that could cater for potentially being on the beach and swimming could be the same watch that I would want to wear to a black tie dinner. So there would be a compromise at both ends on that. So,
If James Bond wears an Omega Seamaster 300, Seamaster Professional 300 for with a tuxedo, I'm pretty sure you can pull that off as well.
James who?
James Bond.
But the majority of people I mean, I would presume, own one watch. You know, we're in this community of fanatics who want collections of
Nutters.
steel sports stunners, divers, dress watch. You know, we got to have for every eventuality. But I mean, I look at my dad. He owns one watch. It's done, simple, and I just wonder, maybe most people in the world that own a watch own one watch rather than a portfolio of watches.
Russ very smartly avoided kind of the background of my question. I asked him if he could think that one and done concept would work, and he was escaping. I wanted to get the psychological background why he doesn't like it, and he put the practical side of it and said a watch for all purposes doesn't exist, which is kind of avoiding the question, Russ. So,
Yeah, but that's the Russell is an addict. We are all addicts.
Yeah.
We are in counseling amongst ourselves.
In denial.
So Jamie,
The first step is to admit the problem.
exactly. So Russ is in denial, and Jamie is admitting. So
I'm ready
Jamie
to
is
admit.
one step ahead. So Russ, taking the practicabilities aside, why is it unthinkable for you to have a one and done?
It's very difficult to move beyond the practicability, isn't it, of a watch? It's there to tell the time. I could wear a watch that did that covered all occasions, but
Yeah, and think about it. If the guy's going to go swimming and it's not necessarily, say, a reverso, well, you just take it off. I don't need it to swim.
depends if you want to measure how much air you've got in your tank.
The background, the background of my question was, Russ, how much do you love the watches that you could easily let them go and limit yourself to one? How important is a watch collection?
No, I could let watches go, no problem. I think I'm someone who doesn't have a problem if I haven't worn something, letting it go. But I do enjoy wearing the watches, and my favourite ones get worn regularly. So I would struggle. Let's just say that. I enjoy a watch. I enjoy the dial. I enjoy the movement. I enjoy the setting of a complication. All of those things don't fit with a one and done, I don't think.
No.
So Swiss, you and I, we've been talking about the process of choosing a new watch, and I know that you put a lot of thoughts when you acquire a new piece. How difficult
Yeah.
would it be for you to limit yourself to a one and done?
There is multiple things to think about. For example, is it a one and done forever, or is it just one watch and you can cycle through multiple one and dones?
Ooh, that sounds interesting. One and done today.
When you came up with this question, I thought it was a one and done forever.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is so many things to think about. To me, a one and done is problematic because I fear that I might get bored of it. Even if it's one of the most exceptional pieces ever. Well, I think if I get Dufour duality, I would not I would not say
You would
no.
not
But
look back.
yeah, but I also really enjoy the option of having multiple choices. One day I want to dress smart, one day I don't care, and I just take whatever watch I like.
Yeah, I think
And
that's a
this comes also, this idea also comes a lot in discussion when people they say, should I consolidate? Should I sell some watches to get something bigger, something better? And this is just it's if it's the path you think you want to go, then yes. To me, I think if I can have like 5 watches, that would be perfect. But one, um, it could also be doable. It could be doable, and I have maybe a few ideas in mind.
so we will talk later about if you could make that or realize that one and done concept. Which watch of your collection would you choose? But I would like to keep that for a little bit later. So
Yeah,
Jamie, when we discussed this question, you found a smart way out of it,
Oh,
while not totally giving up your addiction. So tell us about your concept that you had in mind.
well, I just said that I would need, if I was to do it, I would sell all watches and keep one, but I would need to keep as well the pocket watch and the Atmos clock. And the same would apply for my wife. She would keep
Keep the
one.
wife.
Well, yeah, sorry, keep the one wife, one and done wife. That is.
one, just one.
No, but Jamie was cheating basically by saying, "Well, I'm keeping a wristwatch, I'm keeping a pocket watch, and I'm keeping a clock," which is kind of cheating. Now Russell will say he will outsource one to his brother and one to his wife, and he will manage to get that, and probably the cat gets one. So I'm not sure if you have a brother at all. I just realized, but you could also go around that problem by outsourcing some of your watches.
I haven't got a brother, but
Okay,
I don't think keeping an Atmos clock is cheating, to be fair. I think that's a perfectly doable thing.
it is
Yeah,
all.
yeah. I
It
would
is all.
never.
We are
The
all
clock.
hanging on the needle, regardless if it's an Atmos or a pocket watch or a wristwatch. Come on, guys, let's
No,
be
no, no.
serious here.
The clock serves an actual purpose. It's within the salon, the front room, the living room. It serves. It's like an ornament. Yeah, it's not like a
It's
watch.
a piece of
Watch.
furniture.
Yeah, yeah. And the
As is a
pocket
pocket
watch,
watch.
that was. I mean that was for our daughter with a letter, to Perla, to our daughter, for her to read in, I don't know, 10 years time. So, you can't be giving that to your daughter and then a year later saying, "Oh, sorry, darling, I'm selling it." That's not tasteful.
I think you need to do some letters with your watches to her as well, actually.
Yes.
You can keep them all now.
And then there's no going back.
That's it.
But I think Jamie put up an important point, and I remember when Archie was in a desperate state of selling his reverso, he seriously one day said, "I can't sell it because this has been gifted to me by my wife for my 40th birthday, and it has a very personal engraving inside." So I think we all have an agreement that those sentimental pieces, just like you said, that pocket watch that carries the letter for your daughter, those are untouchable, and those are impossible to let go.
Yeah, 100%.
Russ, do you have such a particular watch that for those?
I guess probably my first Patek de World Time, simply because of what it represented, and going across to Geneva to collect it from the salon means probably more than probably any other collection I've done. I have a particular watch I wear for funerals as well. Didn't set out that with it being that, but it just so happened that I've worn it a lot at funerals. So again, that one I wouldn't get rid of. It doesn't get worn other than that, which is a bit of a
Mate, this is ridiculous.
The grim one.
cloud.
You got one for the beach, one for the cocktail dinners, one for funerals.
The problem
one
became
for
when it's
weddings.
my funeral, won't it?
So would you mind sharing us which is the watch, which is your funeral watch? Because I'll be haunting you forever with that then.
Yeah, it's my UN Marine chronometer.
Oh, okay. The Ulyss Nada
Yeah.
marine chronometer in platinum.
That's it. Yeah, one of 3 ever made with a white enamel dial. I just think it's with a black strap on it. It's a beautiful plain piece that I enjoy wearing. Not particularly for funerals, but that's what it's turned into.
You got the chronometer, you time, you get it going, you start timing.
Well, a chronometer in UN speak is just a watch. It's not doesn't time.
Okay.
Hasn't got a chrono on it.
Okay. Yeah, I had
So it's based on
chrono
a
with
ship's chronometer.
Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dial is reminiscent of the dial of a ship's chronometer. I'm just trying to find a picture on Google.
To send you a picture, or does that not work?
It's a pain in the ass. So yeah, but 1 second. I think I have one. Just for the viewers that they understand what we're talking about. So is it that one?
Well, it isn't, but it's roughly that.
Yeah, it's roughly that. You have the enamel dial. This comes with the standard dial. Is that correct?
Mine's a non-date version of things.
Ah,
but
okay.
Yeah, that sort of look.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, but yeah, I hear you with certain watches. You have experiences, and depending on what you're doing, you would likely go for that particular watch.
Yeah, as I say, it didn't start out as that when I first wore it, and then it's just happened I wore it to the next one, and then a pattern developed. So it wasn't set out to that, but it's turned into that. So
it's not because of the morbid appearance that that you chose it. It just became a habit or a
it's
tradition.
only you that thinks it looks morbid, John.
Okay, yeah,
It
well,
looks
I can
lovely.
live with that. Swiss, do you have a funeral watch?
No.
So yeah,
I'll show you a funeral watch. I don't have it any longer, but it's one that if I was to want to buy a funeral watch, I
mean with
would
the skull?
go for. Let me just share this screen. This one.
Okay.
5119J. Very, very simple,
Yeah, I agree.
clean, and yeah, that could be perfect for a funeral.
Yeah, I agree. But now we we brought the tone down
It's
of
another
an
meaning of one and
enjoyable
done, isn't
subject.
it?
So, but other than that, you don't have a personalized watch that you couldn't let go.
Personalised? No, I haven't got a personalised world time.
No.
Yeah, you saw that coming, yes.
Yes, yes.
So during the thought process, I thought which watches I could let go, and for sure my BCHH Celestial Voyager that has been tailored to me. That will be a difficult one to let go, and it would feel kind of cheating against myself, also cheating against Benjamin Chi and the guys at Anders in Genève, if I would ever part with it,
Would
regardless
that
of.
be would that be difficult to let go because nobody would want it, or because you couldn't let go?
That is a nice dig that you're putting out. I had the thought, Ben, who probably knows the best about this particular watch, he said probably you could sell it for a profit, particularly now that it became famous. But that is an aspect as well. Seriously, I can't imagine who would want.
I think there is one option that is acceptable, that would be acceptable, even for Anderson and Benjamin Chi, is if I buy it.
But you don't have the money to buy it, so I
Why
can't give it to
you
you.
said I'm going to sell all my collection. I have a shit ton of money now.
Okay. So would you be willing to buy this watch in case that I let it go? And would that be totally okay for you to buy a watch that has been so personalized to someone else?
Yeah, the personalization is fine with me, because someone designed the watch. Either it's a designer or it's a client who made it special for him. I mean, as long as it's a good design, I'm okay with it. Would I buy you a watch? No.
Hey, why not? No, that is a burning question. Why not?
Because
No,
I know you want to sell it for a profit and you're gonna fight me over.
Actually, I wouldn't.
it is. Everything is. I mean, I could live with like a Hamburg on that. That's the only thing that's a little bit off for me, but I could live with it. The only thing that I would struggle with is the crown. The actual functionality of being able to wind it. And it's just a real problem.
Yeah. You
I
had to
would
bring
miss
that up.
Darwin on a dial as well.
Actually, that is an interesting point. I don't want to bore you too much with my world timer because that has been discussed. But I approached Alex from Anders in Genève and asked him, "Do you still have that city ring with Darwin on?" And I was kind of surprised, but it makes sense the way that he replied. He told me, "No, we don't have this anymore because we simply wiped this off and printed it again with the right destination." So this particular city ring doesn't exist anymore with Darwin on it, but it's in my watch now and saying Tokyo.
Right. Sustainable watchmaking.
Yeah, not only that, I was then researching the printing that they do on watch dials, and that may be another topic for the Swiss and Don show, because usually they make a cliche, which is a negative engraving of what you do, and then it's a very delicate stamping process that they make out of that. So
What would they use to wipe it? Would they use some sort of chemical?
I think this
Yeah.
is just a kind of color, and they just use some benzene or alcohol.
Yeah,
Or,
pretty sure like isopropanol or something like that.
Yeah, like like nail varnish remover. You've got
Exactly.
something
Yeah.
really strong.
yeah.
Well, it's probably painted with nail varnish in the first place.
Yeah.
I think they are declaring it a little bit different. So, Swiss, do you have some personalized watches that you can't let go because otherwise you would insult your mother or a very good friend? Or
Well, I have my father's watch, which technically is still his, so it's not in my right to get rid of it. But every other watch, technically, I could get rid of. I just have one that was gifted from my aunt, and yeah, this one I cannot sell. It's the Omega Constellation two-tone. Everything else is I could get rid of. It would be extremely hard for me to get rid of most of them, especially the Vacheron, the Platinum JLC, the Moser, and the Rolex, my first Rolex. It would be very hard for me to sell, but for the exercise of today's topic, let's say that I will sell them all.
so I just experienced. I've sold my Credo Aichi with a blue dial recently, and I'm at the moment I'm in the process of culling my collection for the big heavy hitter that you all know, but you're not allowed to talk about. And to be honest, with every watch that goes, I feel a kind of relief. Now, having said that, of course, I'm letting the watches go that are the least desirable to me.
And you know you're going to be replaced. You didn't just let them go. You've got one coming in place of that.
Yes, yes, but still, regardless, I think my collection has grown too big, and I'm losing sometimes sight. If you ask me to put down at the moment which watches I own, I'm pretty sure that I will leave out 7 or 8, which I don't remember from the top of my head, which is a sad thing.
How many watches do you think you've got then in the collection?
Last time I counted so I was only counting watches over 2000. It was more than 30.
Yeah.
How about you, Russ?
I'm just counting them actually.
I have 9 watches that I can sell.
So Russ is still counting, so I guess he's over 110 now.
Well, I'm just discounting the ones I haven't actually got yet, which are coming. So I don't count them.
That is another 50.
No, not quite.
But coming back to my initial point, it feels a little bit liberating. It makes you kind of free when you part with some of your collection when it gets so overboard, just like with me. So when Jamie asked that question, at first I felt light with the idea of selling everything but one. But then the details, the nitty-gritty started, and of course I was thinking about which watches would you be comfortable to sell, or which one would be my one and done, and then it got really tricky, because just like I said, I have that world timer that is tailored for me. I have that GMT master. I've been a one and done guy for 25 years. When I was working in a watch store, I was only having a GMT. Sometimes then I sold the GMT and had a Blancpain on IWC. I always came back to the Rolex. So for most of my collecting years, I've been a one and done guy, and I can safely say I've not been unhappier compared to now that I have this massive watch collection. So valid point is why are we all doing that? Why are we all spending that money with? Why are we doing our due diligence and go to the bank safe, and then take one out and put one back? So I quite like the idea of one and done, and I can see the positive sides of it.
My
It
wife
clears
likes
your
the
mind.
idea.
Say it again.
My wife likes the idea. 24 was the answer. Anyway, on
Okay.
number of watches.
Okay. So yeah, I have some pieces to sell, so that you're taking over. So those are the presents, or including the ones that are supposed to come.
No, current.
So Jamie, would your wife be happy if you would let them all go?
Yeah, I think so. Because I just look at what she does already, and she pretty much just wears one particular watch, and that's it. Like, she doesn't really alternate. So I look, you know, she has this, which was the first watch that we got her. It was the Chopard Imperiale, and she just loves wearing it, and she doesn't want to. She has the Rolex Datejust. She has the Patek World Time and the Patek 24, and she just wears the Chopard. And I think, well, if you're not wearing the others, what's the bloody point? Because I'm starting to think more practically, you know, minimalist, and I don't like clutter, too much thinking and overthinking, and I just don't need it in my life, like undue stress. I want simplicity.
Yeah, same.
So are you seriously considering
No,
selling?
I'm a complete fantasist. I'm just talking out my thoughts. But what I'd really like to do is just stick, you know, stick and twist constantly. The next one, the next one. What about this? What about that? I just like to stop my brain and say, just be happy with what you've got.
Yeah, but stick is always difficult because you get those impulses. Every day there is a new article or 5 new watches on Hodinkee, 5 one on Monogram, 5 on Revolution watches. Then you have Watches and Wonders, and then you have those unboxing in those damned YouTube channels that you're frequenting. So you're constantly putting
Swiss and John
in
show.
No, well, we're only talking about Anglage, so
Yeah,
so
I mean
you're
the
pretty safe.
exposure to this subject of watches. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you've got Higgy sending a link. You then check an Instagram account full of watches. You then watch a bit of Archie watches. You watch a bit of Tim watches. Now we're doing a live stream watches. I mean, we're talking hours and hours each day of watch-related content.
So Russ has a very good way to discipline himself. Russ, you and I, we were
Involves a
talking.
whip.
We were talking about the New Year's resolution and how you handle that.
Oh, yeah,
Would you like
yeah.
to explain that to us?
Is this to do with the ordering? Make sure I order before the 6 p.m. on the New Year's Eve.
Exactly, yes.
I can't remember what I said now. What did I say exactly?
Well, you said, for example, we have 2023, so you're not making resolutions for 2023 until it's the 31st of December 2023.
Oh, yes, that's right, I did,
and
yes.
You make it only at 6 o'clock noon, just to make sure that that one doesn't pop up in the morning that you have to get. I think that is what you said.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like you. Okay,
Yes,
guys.
you don't want to miss an opportunity to get something, do you? That's the thing.
So let's take the following scenarios. Somebody is putting a gun at your head and tells you, "Okay, I'm gonna rob all your watches, and you can keep one."
Okay.
What is your reply?
That's not quite the same as a one and done, though, is it? This is just keeping your favourite one, is it, in that scenario?
Yeah, it's not the
Yeah.
same. This is, you have to keep
Yeah.
one in your collection.
Come on, I tried to keep the conversation going. And I thought out that question now for 2 days, and you're ruining it by saying this is off topic.
It needs to be rephrased because if the man is in front of me with the gun, of course I'm going to choose the world time because of the value. But
Okay.
in a practical sense, I would choose my reverso because actually the reverso is the one I keep wearing and I cannot stop wearing.
Okay,
But
so yeah, you've been cheating again now. You've been avoiding the question of your favorite watch to the more valuable, which is a valid point, and I totally accept that. But then you replied to it, the watch that gets worn most often is your reverse or tribute, correct?
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Keep wearing it. I can't stop wearing it.
How about you?
Who?
Russ.
Oh, sorry. What was the gun at my head
Yes.
scenario? Favorite watch? I would keep the 5370.
5370, if I know that correct, that is a split second chronograph, correct? With the blue
Yeah,
dial.
it's my favorite watch.
1 second. 50. That is 5370, yeah?
Yeah.
5370.
B?
Everybody knows that I'm a bad multitasker, and Swiss is no help at all. I was just trying to pull up Jamie's watch, but now Russ replied the question, and of course I'm pulling that up. So that's the one that you would keep and go swimming in the ocean?
No, this isn't the one and done. This is the gun at the head. Which watch would you want to keep?
Yeah.
Because it's your most valuable piece, or
No, I don't think it is.
okay?
It's lovely.
I've got the black version, but very similar.
Okay. And why is that? Because
I just find it on the wrist and a lovely piece to wear. It's got plenty of theatre on the back to look at the movement. The dial, black enamel, is amazing. I could also say the same probably about the Paul Emeritte. That is an amazing piece as well, but probably doesn't take precedence over this.
yeah, just for the background, Russ is having a Lange pour le Mérite of the first edition in yellow gold tourbillon with a fusée and chain.
Yeah.
So
Stunned.
you would prefer the Patek over the pour le Mérite,
I think I would, yeah.
which is
I
rather
think I
disappointing for
prefer,
me.
well, I think I prefer platinum.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the platinum version of the Paul Emeritte, so you have to make choices, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, when I thought about that topic, I thought it's a little bit like you have a handful of children, and somebody is asking you, okay, if you could only keep one, what would you pick and choose? Not having children is probably the easier decision. Which kid I would keep than which watch would I keep? But anyhow. So Swiss,
Yeah, I think you're right. You can't choose between your children.
would you go as far as comparing them with your children?
I'm struggling to do that, but
Okay.
I'm considering it. But I don't think it's no, definitely. I'll take the watches, no problem.
Would that be a nasty question if your watch gives you the alternative? You keep the world timer or you keep the daughter?
Oh, keep the daughter. No problems. These things are stupid objects. You know, you cannot give up your child.
Scrap of metal.
You're on a good path, Jamie. I'm not sure if your reply would be like that 1 year ago, but I see that you're.
No,
I'm
of course
just-
not. The one, what gives me more joy is of course my daughter. Yeah.
So Swiss gunpoint scenario.
Yeah, easy. My first Rolex.
Your first Rolex
The
was
OP, it's Oyster Perpetual 34. 34, actually.
34. Okay.
Yes.
just for sentimental reason.
Yeah, and it is the perfect watch. It is versatile. It is sober yet luxurious. It's the perfect proportions. It's perfect.
You would pick that over your father's watch?
Uh, yes, yes. It would suck, but yes.
Yeah.
It would be a robbery, so it's not my fault.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think you see my question is smarter than it initially sounded, because that gives you an excuse or a reason not to prioritize those emotional pieces.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
to give
push
me
comes to
to give
shove.
myself credit, it's not such a bad question. So okay, now we're moving. Now, yeah, I have a difficult time to decide which I would choose, but I thought so long about the concept of one and done, and my reply would be my Rolex Pepsi 16750, because I've been a Rolex GMT master guy for the most time of my life. My preference is the 16750 with a acrylic crystal. And to both questions, gunpoint and if you have to sell everything and keep one, my reply would be that Rolex and GMT 16750, all bases covered.
Yeah. Is that the one you had for much of your life as your
Actually,
own watch?
Actually, I had the newer model, the 16710, which has then the sapphire crystal and the white gold surrounds. And at a later point of time, I discovered the beauty of vintage Rolex watches. So I would slightly modify my initial preference and update my preference. 1 second, I'm trying to pull that up. Rolex 1670. Let me pull that up. So realistically, if you would say, okay, I'm minimizing or I'm limiting myself to, or I'm culling my collection, and I'm going as close as possible to the one and done. What else would you choose? What would be then your preference?
I didn't understand that question. What was
Well,
the?
I was discussing the question with Russ, and I told him one and done for me is impossible. But if you force me to radically minimize my collection,
Yeah.
I will limit myself to 5. So I told him the Rolex GMT Master that you just seen on the screen, the Benjamin Chi World Timer stays, the Lange Perpetual Calendar stays, the heavy hitter that I'm gonna buy stays, and I had another
Yeah.
one. Russ, help me.
I can't remember, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I can't remember as well. So yeah, I would say 4 then, off the top of my head.
Yeah, but then you've got, you start looking at your watch box, and then there's 4 empty slots, and that starts.
I would sell the watch box at first.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
such a watch box is a terrible thing because you want to fill those empty slots. Don't you agree with?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I've got 1 slot empty at the minute. I sold the bluesy, and I'm just thinking what to put in place. And I'm thinking an annual calendar from Patek. So yeah, you can't have an empty slot. That sucks.
That shows you how crazy we all are. Russ, do you have a watch box?
Several, yes. Yeah,
Anything empty?
yeah. There's space.
Yeah,
You prepare for the incoming pieces.
I don't think I've got enough space, but there is space. Yeah. I think addressing the one and done, if I was to go with one of my pieces that had to cover all bases, it would be the Patek 5990 Nautilus. I couldn't do it, but it would cover all the bases.
990, that is the one with the olive dial, correct?
No, 5990, it's the
Oh, that is a
stainless steel
chronograph.
chronograph, dual time. So it's a stopwatch, dual time, waterproof, bit chunky.
You mean that?
That one, yeah. I've got plenty of other Nautiluses, but I wouldn't want to go swimming in the beach in some of them. Whereas this one, I think, if you had to, you could.
Yeah, I agree.
In terms of 5 watches, I would probably have to include the 5131 World Time.
That is the one with the cloisonné dial?
Yeah. There's, if I was also keeping the 5990, then probably I wouldn't include my 5370 Patek chrono, because obviously I've already getting a bit heavy on Patek. So you might substitute in the Dato Lumen for that, just to give you a chrono from Lange.
You're just saying that to please me, because now you're including a Lange.
Well, yes. I'd have to put the MB and F in there, of course, though, John, as well. So that's not to please you.
Would you really do that?
I like it. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you like it, but will it be on your top 5? Come on.
Well, it's different. I'd also have to think about maybe the Freak in there as well, just for something different.
Really?
I think 5 is a good number.
Yeah.
5 works. It's not out of control. It's not 1.
This is
Five
very
sounds
much out
about
of
right.
control. 5 luxury watches is totally out of control. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it might be actually. If you just to ask, a random segment of society, what do they think of 5 of these 100 grand plus watches? In what do you make of that? Yeah. Russell, you've got a problem.
Oh, I know that.
We didn't know. We didn't need that show to find that out, I would say.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't put any Rolex in there, I don't think, in a 5.
No?
No.
Okay. That's.
If I did, it would be just a straightforward sub. That was all it would be, just a straightforward sub. But
Not a GMT.
no.
Why not? Because it's covered with your Nautilus travel time, or?
Well, I'm on subs. I'm a sucker just for such a plain look, just no date, no nothing. So
Okay.
yeah, no, I don't think I'd have a GMT.
So when you go minimalist, you go minimalist.
Oh, I go well minimalist. Yeah.
Okay. Because I discovered yesterday that topic, or I touched that topic with Archie, and he also said Submariner, and my strong belief it's GMT, because you have the water resistance, the robustness of a Submariner, but you have that additional function that may become handy, particularly when you're traveling a lot. But now we have been watering the topic and going down to 5, so it's maybe a little bit easier to choose the Submariner.
As I say, it hasn't made it into my 5, so if it did, it would be a straightforward sub. But yeah.
A lot of people do say, what's the one and done, and they often go for the sub. That's quite a common one and done if posed that question. Sub, date or no date, and then that's the only differentiator. But yeah, it seems that sub is a really good option for one and done.
Yeah, I very much agree, and it's a little bit, yeah, it's interesting that Swiss would choose a Rolex. I would choose a Rolex, and yeah, so you got rid of your two-tone Submariner, Jamie?
Yeah, I've only got rid of it because I'm going to replace it with something, and that I'm kind of just figuring out what I want to put in place.
So
But I'd
would-
like to be done at that point. I don't need any more because then what it is, within the box, my wife has the 4 bottom, and then I have the top 4, and I think 4 is okay. I feel good with that number. So yeah, I'm basically deciding what to put in place.
So, and the question to you, the one and done would be the same, just like the gunpoint watch, or would you choose?
No, it's going to be the Reverso. Yeah, it would, because it's the one I really can't stop wearing. And listen, the world time is highly sentimental. It represented, a massive milestone in my life with work and travel, and it's just everything that is me. I have this thing with travel, so it's incredibly special for me. But on a practical level, I'm not wearing the world time every day. I would never want to sell it, but the reverse, I just can't stop wearing it. And I like the reverse. It kind of, it's like it's different. I don't want to be like everyone else. I always like to be a little bit different, a little bit peculiar. And I think with this, it gives me that edge.
Last week, I had a discussion with Alex, the watchmaker, about the Reverso, and he doesn't like it for a very practical reason. And I could imagine tearing those two-faced Reversos apart must be a nightmare.
Oh, for him as okay, doing the work.
That is an aspect that I didn't have in mind. But just imagine, well, you have to open the case, but then you have to pull that apart somehow. Not sure if he has to remove the hands then on one side, remove the dial, and then enter the other side of the watch. I don't know how it works. I would love to know that, but I know that.
Yeah, I was looking. I was looking on my.
One second,
If you show my
I put you on
camera.
full screen. 1 second. Oops. Apologies. 1 second. I have to move you.
Yeah, I was looking. You can see the tiny screws. Oh,
Why doesn't it work? Sorry, Jamie.
come on, Higgy.
Here it
Yeah,
goes.
you can see the tiny screws.
Yeah, but getting it out of the case is one side, but then you have a movement that is attached to two dials.
Sure.
And here comes the question, how can you disassemble that then?
Well, yeah.
That's going to be tricky.
Oh, you have
Is
you
that the
have to
next
take
show?
everything apart.
That's the next show. Let's take it apart.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe we can make a live show.
I've got a toolkit.
Send them in. I have actually. That's another thing with this crazy thing. You start buying all these Bergion tools, and I even bought the thing that you squeeze and it blows off any dust particles.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? I don't need that.
Are you opening your watches?
No,
Why do you have then the air blower, the dust blower?
because I was taking pictures and videos, and I
Yeah.
thought I'll get that, and I can just blow any dust particles off.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a madness. Actually, what I bought is a little plastic suitcase, a traveling kit, a watchmaker's traveling kit that I'm taking with me when I'm visiting friends. Because usually it goes, can you replace a battery, or there's something wrong on my watch, or can you change the strap? So I have my watchmaker tools with me all the time when I'm visiting other people. It's in my car.
Have you seen my toolkit, John? Did I send you pictures of that?
Oh yeah, the Patek Philippe toolkit.
Yes.
Well, that is insane. That is insane. Yeah, Ross and I, we've been
Used
talking.
frequently.
You use it frequently to open watches?
I wish. No. No, it sits on the side.
Yeah, but that is a totally different level. Do you know where the name of it, where I can Google it, that I can show it to the viewers?
I don't think you'll find it because it's Patek's own toolkit that they have made for their own staff doing their training course. Because
okay.
I bought it off of someone who'd done the course and then moved from back room to front of shop. So he was selling it.
I think I found it.
If you really want it, I
Is it
think I
that?
could found it. I could,
That's
I
it,
think
yeah.
I could find it.
Is it that one?
It is, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, so it is Bergeon, but they then put it into a,
Just like the Patek pens look like.
yeah, everything's got Patek on it.
Did you have to buy that, or was it a gift for it?
No, I bought this.
Yeah.
Would you mind to tell us how much that was?
That was £2,000.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I would say.
Yeah,
By comparison.
definitely.
Because I
That's,
use it all the time. It's a well spent £2,000.
It looks like it's quite big as well. It takes up a bit of space.
No, it's actually quite small.
Okay.
That size of a watch box, although it's square.
Yeah, because we can see the size of the loop, so that gives us an idea.
So this guy is asking 2,500. So you're not
That probably.
What year was it? May.
listed 2017.
That's years ago.
That could have been. I didn't deal with him on Watch Pro site, but whether that he was also showing it on there.
He says he's located in Spain.
It's Jamie.
Yeah, right.
Mine was from Switzerland, so.
No, but you're not really using that.
You know, this is why
No.
this is what sets Patek apart. Like, I know this wasn't a gift, but what Patek gift? I mean, the gifts that they give compared to some of these other brands. This is why Patek is king.
Come on, Jamie. Rolex has some very elaborate gifts as well. For their
Nah,
clients.
not at all.
The thing is, all brands have those crazy gifts. You just don't see them.
You don't get them.
Yeah. Because there is a thing like a watch fair, a bit more elaborate than that. But basically, imagine a watch fair, but with that is centered around the goodies and the tools
Paraphernalia.
and everything. And I can tell you, every brand has those crazy goodies going on.
Yeah, I think that's really romantic. Like you got golf bags, like Patek golf bags,
entire
Patek
golf
towels.
sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beauty, jewelry box holders for traveling, and umbrellas,
Yeah.
ties.
No, but what
Ties are the
Ross
best
got
thing.
here is basically a toolkit
Yeah.
for the ADs.
I get
and
it. Not
tools.
for gifting.
Yeah, the tools that ADs are getting are bloody expensive and very elaborate from all those brands, and they have to buy them for big bucks.
Yeah, Russ said. I think you said he was an apprentice, so he went through
Yes,
the.
he went through, supposedly, through some of the Patek training, and that was what he had to buy as part of that, and then he stepped back from that to work, as I say, as a salesperson in a Patek AD, and decided to sell it. That was the story he gave, but
Yeah,
whether that's gospel, I don't know.
it's plausible,
Yeah, very much.
but regardless, it's a great thing to own.
Okay, I think is there anything more to say about the topic? We're now 1 hour and 6 minutes. Swiss has been on the phone for most of the time. Swiss?
Yeah, I think I missed all the juicy parts.
Well, yeah.
Well, in
So
conclusion, there is.
does your I sell everything and just keep one watch? Is it a watch that you guys already own, or?
Mine was, although I couldn't do
Yeah,
it, but
Yeah.
same.
Okay, so it's not that interesting.
For you, would it be a different watch than what you have in your collection? I think it's an interesting point.
Of course it would be.
Okay, which
Because
one?
if I sell everything,
Yeah.
according to Chrono 24, I have close to 100,000 to play with.
Okay.
And
Don't tell me you're buying a Patek World Timer Cloisonné, because then we have 3 against 1.
no, I only buy good watches. So
Yeah.
so you know me. I like complications. I want something spectacular, something that is a showstopper, but also something that I enjoy. I think it is obvious, and I think this was also part of the exercise. So I how do you say this? I assumed that this watch you will never be able to sell it. So any value retention or money, whatever money is, you don't even think about it except for the buying price.
Because you're done.
Exactly, you're done. I have something fun in mind. So as Jamie was saying, I don't want to be like everybody. I want something that I love, but also that is kind of representative of what I like about watches, I guess. So number one, I want complication, but I also want something classic, something traditional,
Not another
something
Vacheron, please.
like a classical Vacheron. That's really nice. But I also want something spicy, something that when you show to your friends at the Watches and Wonder events and everything, and they go like, "Ooh, that's a nice watch," or "Ooh, that's an ugly watch." I don't care. Something that actually they haven't seen for 10 million time, like, "Oh, wow, another Rolex Panda. Oh, that's so nice. Ooh."
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's the problem with that. Like, if you went with the sub date or no date,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
so
went with the Pepsi.
Oh.
Come on, I'm the
Yeah.
most boring guy here. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I had something in mind. So, as it goes for complications, I was thinking, okay, it has to be at least a tourbillon, or even better, it could be a minute repeater. But what is even better than having a complicated watch is having a complicated watch that people don't even see that it's a complicated watch. And I remember that there are those what they call those old Blancpain that have hidden minute repeaters. So only if you really look, usually a minute repeater, they proudly show this lever thing. Actually, Blancpain, when they started, they really made effort to hide them underneath the watch case. So I was thinking for something like that. And then I remembered, oh, wait, what's even better? Not only you had Blancpain who made, when I'm talking Blancpain, I'm talking about like Blancpain in the 90s, the first Viret collection. So very, very classical. This is when Jean-Claude Biver restarted the brand. Very classical, very simple. When you look at the watch, you're like, oh, it's a basic 300. But no, it's actually a minute repeater. It's like 36, 37, super small. So and really thin. So you really do not suspect it to be a complicated watch. And I remembered they even made these watches with erotic automatons behind. And man, that would be super fun to have one of these. So basically, my pick would be old Blancpain Viret erotic minute repeater. That would be my pick.
Am I allowed to show those? Or
I think not. But guys, if you are curious, you just Google Blancpain erotic minute repeater, and it should be easy to find.
That's
do
interesting.
you remember the watch that Sven Andersen had on his wrist with that tapisserie, and on the back he had that erotic motif? That would be a more contemporary size. Why the Blancpain? Because it's so low under the radar, even more low than the Andersen, or
Yeah. I just prefer the style of the Blancpain. It's just something I prefer.
Okay, I'm sharing the front view of the watch, but not the rear view. So we're talking about those.
Yeah, very simple. And this it's probably like 36 mil. See, you can barely see on the left. You can barely see the lever for for the minute repeater. So you really don't suspect anything.
Yeah, the old ones really hit that well. 1 second. Let me share my window again. Here, I pulled up while you were talking for hours. I was pulling that up, and the ultimate discrete watch would be if they would leave away the répétition minute printing on the dial. But here you can also see that that's very hidden.
Yeah.
So do you think? Don't you think when you reach my age and when sex is not that important anymore, that this will get a little bit boring for you?
I don't know. As I said, I think I said it before. I fear that I might get bored of, if I keep just one watch, I might get bored of it, which is probably what is going to happen. But, whatever.
Russ, the concept of an erotic watch, is that something that is attractive to you?
Well, of course, I'm a big UN fan, and of course, they're famous for a lot of their erotic watches.
Oh, yeah.
But not something personally that I've ever entertained, no. They put it on the front usually, I think, UN.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, to a certain degree. Do you know that they made it themselves, or did they make a cooperation with Anders in Genève back then?
I think a lot of their minute repeater stuff was René and Papy.
Oh, okay.
Whether their automaton stuff was or not, I don't know. But back in the day, they did a lot of work with them.
I can appreciate that from a technical point of view, but I'm a little bit shy, so I would be too shy to wear something. It would be a little bit embarrassing to me, particularly to show.
But I mean, nobody sees it.
It's
The
under
only
here.
people that see it is whoever you show it to. So
And you would not expect it after having seen that dial. And you flip it over.
yeah,
It's completely unexpected.
I'd rather see a blue gold rotor with a guilloche pattern, to be honest, or a double split, triple split. We had that topic yesterday. Was
Yeah, I agree.
okay.
A bit of movement porn.
Yeah, I think that is a better point than just some skillfully sculptured gold figures doing the same motion over and over.
Yeah, those parts might wear out, with so much friction.
Who's going to service
You
them?
need to get the lube from time to time.
That will come to the guys who think that a spray of WD-40 is enough.
That'll do the job.
So watch. Okay, so I think we talking about wearing out. I think we wore that topic out a little bit. I must say, for myself, I find that concept of scaling down, culling the herd a little bit more than I'm planning is quite attractive, and I see the liberating part of it. Russ can't do it, but wouldn't you agree that having a little bit few of them than what you currently own would probably make you happier, or not?
I don't think it would make me happier. I can see the benefit of putting some pieces together to get something more perhaps out there in terms of expense. But then you have the worry of wearing it, insuring it, storing it. And I think you have to draw a value limit at some point on what you're prepared to risk on your wrist in some ways if you actually wear your pieces, which I do.
Did you ever experience you sold a watch, then you see it on a show on YouTube or on the wrist of another collector, or you see the picture on Hodinky or whatever, and it stings, and you say to yourself, why have I sold it? This was a mistake selling this particular piece.
No, I don't think so. I've turned down pieces that I thought was a big mistake.
Oh yes, we could fill an entire show out of those, I would say.
But no, I've not sold anything that I've then regretted. I think I'm quite easy for me just to move on and say, right, that's done and gone. I don't ever think about reacquiring something I've sold. No, I find that quite easy just to move on.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Swiss, how about you?
what was the question to begin with?
The question is, so if you're limiting your collection to 1 or to 5 or however you do, did you ever have that situation that you see then the watch that you sold on the wrist of another collector, or it was a topic of a show, or you saw it on Monochrome or somewhere? Did it sting? Did you have regrets of selling that? Because that is one of my biggest fear.
Yeah.
So
I never sold any of my watches, but I think I might get some regrets if I sell some of them. I said it at the beginning. It would be really hard for me to sell my watches.
Because I had a friend who was going through a divorce, and he was selling his entire James Bond collection, and he had great stuff. And he gave me a large part of his collection, or he sold it to me. I paid for it. And he told me, once I decide that I'm getting out, I'm totally getting out. I'm not keeping anything. I'm not frequenting any James Bond fora anymore. I'm not watching any YouTube videos. I'm unsubscribing to everything. And I'm not even gonna watch the new James Bond movie when it comes out in the cinema. I have to cut that down then entirely. I have to kill it, because otherwise I will always have regrets.
That's kind of the mindset I had when I asked the question of one and done. That implies me literally deleting my YouTube, never watching, never wanting to know anything about watches ever again, and I couldn't do it. So yeah, that's so. How did your friend get on with that? Have you heard from him since? Is he okay, or
He,
did he
I lost.
relapse?
Therapy.
No, I lost contact with him. I
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
lost contact with him after that.
he's
The
out.
relationship was difficult, even though before he went through a divorce, and I didn't agree with the choices that he made. Um, so not in terms of divorce, but how he behaved after the divorce. If you divorce, that doesn't necessarily mean that you behave like a jackass. So, but that is a different topic. Yeah, he just disappeared.
He's in therapy.
Probably yes. There is one thing, and talking about things that I would never sell. He had that Seiko digital Octopussy watch that I've been showing. One second, I'll show it to you. Seiko G757. So actually, I became to know him through that watch, and one second. Because he was the only person I knew that had this particular watch, and this is how our friendship started. So it's this particular watch. It was totally impossible to find, and
Wow.
he contacted me and he told me I have one. He thought that I have one to sell, so he didn't understand that I was searching for one. And so that is how our friendship started. And when he cut everything down, he sold me that watch for a very cheap price. And I told him, you shouldn't do that because I know how important that watch is for you. And he just said, I have to kill everything. And I told him, look, I'll keep that watch forever for you. It's still with me. I have it here quite next to me. I will never sell this watch. If you ever make up your mind, you can always get it back for the amount that I paid you,
Wow.
and I will keep that watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you wear it?
No, no, because it's unworn and totally mint.
Have you got a lot of watches that aren't worn?
A lot of watches that are what?
That aren't worn, you don't wear?
Yes and no. Tanzil is teasing me with my Panda Daytona that is still fully stickered, and I had to buy it because you don't say no when your AD is calling you and has a Daytona that is offering to you. But I'm not gonna wear it because it's not that important to me, and I know about the value. I also have some of those James Bond Seiko that usually are worn to death because those are Seikos, and it's very difficult to find them in perfectly mint condition. So I have a collection of those James Bond Seikos in totally unworn, perfectly mint condition that are not worn. And to be honest, I've never worn a James Bond Seiko just out of pleasure.
So do you count these as investments then rather than
No.
watches? Still watches?
No, that is a different. I collect those because of the connection of Bond, and not because they are great watches. Let's put it that way.
What about the Daytona? Is that an investment?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, I think you would because clearly you've got all the stickers on it. Like that's you have to differentiate. You're not wearing it, so yeah. That for me
Jonathan is a nasty flipper.
I'm a flipper.
he's
I have this
waiting.
watch.
He's biding his
I have
time.
this
He's
watch
waiting.
since 2018. So you can call me a flipper. I have this watch since 2018. I've not sold it.
You've not realised your investment yet.
Yeah. So call me a flipper again.
Flipper.
Filthy flipper.
Okay. Anything else that we haven't covered?
Silence.
No.
Big silence?
It was quite varied.
I think so
good.
too.
It was helpful for me personally. I kind of what I've realised is I need to get one more watch and then I'm done.
You know that this is totally against what the question was.
Yeah, but I've realised I can't do it and I don't want to do it.
The
It's
needle
never
is
enough.
deep down.
But there are scenarios like push come to shove. I had to do it. Then that's a different thing. But we, I'm not in that position. So, but yeah, I'm going to get one more watch
Do you know
and
what?
be done.
Do you know what
Sorry.
watch? Do you know which watch you're going to get?
Um, Probably a 5396G, the annual calendar from Patek.
Oh, that is a good choice.
Yeah.
5396. That is a good choice because I know that reference from the top of my head. So I'm terrible with Patek references. But
Yeah,
I
you
know
do,
that
and you
because
do.
I was researching this particular watch as well. And in my opinion, it's the most beautiful annual calendar
Yeah.
that Patek does.
And I've just been studying it. I've watched every single video I can find about it. I've seen every picture on Instagram that I can find about it. And knowing that if I got it, it's the correct decision because I've obsessed about it so much, and
Yeah.
it just feels like it's right. So yeah, I've been taking instead of rushing with this one, I've been taking my time thinking about it. I saw it when I was in Singapore, and I'm pretty much sure that it's the correct decision.
Okay, Jamie, now I have a question.
Yeah.
5396. This one I like even more.
Yeah. See, now we talk about regret. Now I remember when I first walked into Patek and I had my world time on the wrist. This was actually what she offered me, and I said no. But on reflection, I was a bit stupid.
A bit.
Yeah, but
But
no. Of the two, I would prefer the white dial.
really, okay.
Yeah, I really would.
Because I hate diamonds on the dial, particularly on men's watches. But those Patek Philippe baguette dials are so beautiful. I really love them.
It's stunning. There's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
But of the two, I think what it is with the annual calendar, I just want it simplicity, cleanliness, and the white dial is super clean under the cuff of a shirt.
1 second.
And I think going to meetings, I would prefer the one without the blue and the diamonds. I'd prefer the white dial.
Beautiful.
The good
Classic, isn't
thing, the good thing about those baguettes is they you really can't see them. In my opinion.
Okay, they're not sort of glimmering,
Yeah.
shiny. Uh-huh.
Ross,
Yeah.
could you agree with that?
Yeah, no, they don't shine out too much. If you catch it just right in the light, they sparkle, but then so do the markers normally. But yeah, no, they're lovely.
True.
But Jamie
But
was
the blue dial, is that like almost like a sunburst? Is it, a different shining of different light? It responds to the light, whereas I think this white dial would just be unassuming.
This is beautiful, classic, understated, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how close are you to it?
Mentally, I'm ready. I'm sure. It's just finding do I want to get it from the AD, or do I want to get it on the secondary? Because secondary, it's really a nice discount. So it's just kind of waiting for the right one to come up. It really in Europe, ideally.
Yep.
Because if I'm done with buying, then I don't need to buy it from the AD. Sod the relationship. If I say I'm done, I'm done. Like, so there's nothing to be gained from that. So, yeah, it's just a case of finding it in Europe, at the right price, in the right condition.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm looking forward to the next Swiss and John show with a topic. I totally faked up at my Patek AD items that I didn't accept when the AD was offering them to me, and we will have a special guest named Russ.
I say I'm not on that show.
A meeting came up.
because you can't believe what Russ said no to.
It was the right choice at the time.
at the time. Don't say that you don't regret one or two.
Well, I have a friend here in Geneva who said no to a chronomètre bleu, and he is known as the only man in Geneva who said no to a chronomètre bleu.
Wow.
Was that when they were trading at roughly retail, or was
More or less, it was in 2018.
Yeah.
So it was starting to become, the new crazy watch.
Yeah.
But it's not the same guy who got the Cartier crash.
No,
Because
no,
that
this
would
guy,
have
this guy, first of all, yeah, you know what? He has. I figured out how he got, because he has a Cartier Crash, a Cartier Pebble, a Cartier Cloche. He has all the Cartier collection privé, those exclusive ones. And he's not that big of a Cartier client. But basically, how it works with Cartier for some of these watches is basically first come, first serve. And has an he has an insider who says you have to come at the boutique at this hour, this day, this time, and we will have, for example, a crash.
Oh, that
And
is a game changer now.
yeah, and he even had the possibility when he got his crash to buy a second one because there were two crashes,
What?
and actually he didn't.
Okay.
He didn't, and then he went home to a friend like, hey, I just got a Cartier crash, and the guy was like, oh, you're super lucky. I wish I could also buy one. And he said, oh, but there was a second one. If you had just said you wanted it, I would have bought it for you. And he was like, what? Come on, it's a crash. Everyone wants the crash.
What year was this?
A year ago, 2 years
Okay.
ago.
Yeah.
Recent, the last batch, basically.
Yeah. That's getting really hyped of late.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was some spectacular auction results. Is that what's sort of driven?
Yeah, it's like 60, 80,000, maybe 100,000. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, and there was an entire article on Hodinky, and if they feature such a watch to such an extent, prices are getting crazy.
Is that why you was trying to hype your world time, your shoddy world time with monochrome?
Well, I don't care because I got mine. So where's the
That
problem?
was the objective. You were trying to hype it.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Looking
that
for
is
the
all my
expert.
long-time master plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now to spruik my undesirable watch, you mean? Jamie, I thought that this all would be cordial, that video, and you broke the rules that we're going to be friendly to each other. But that's okay.
I'm a little bit feisty. Maybe I need one of those erotic watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Okay, guys.
It doesn't do it for me. It's too, because I think with the watches they're a reflection of your character. You know, it's an accessory. You dress yourself. You want a shirt in a certain way, a watch in a certain way, and yeah, like Jonathan said, for me it's pushing it. One of those erotic watches. It's a little bit too out there.
So we are now 1 hour and 35 minutes into into the recording. I think it's spiced up a little bit at the end, which is all good. Do we have any closing comments? Any final thoughts before I'm finishing that recording, Jamie?
No, just regards to all in the chat. Voulez-vous, Dodger, JL. And but also just to comment, it's good to speak with you, Russ.
Yeah,
The
great to
very
be here.
first time, and yeah, my best regards to you.
And to yourself. And Patek World Time for the win, obviously.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, but Russ, any final thought? Was it difficult? Was it hard?
No, it's
Your first time on
great
YouTube?
to join for the first time. Great to hear opinions on a one and done, which I think we've all agreed we can't do. So we're all in the same boat. But yeah, no, great to join. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming up or for joining us on this important topic and for sharing your thoughts. Swiss, any final thoughts?
Yeah, it was awesome talking to you guys. Jamie, it was really good to see you once again. Russell, it is very good to meet you finally. And Jonathan, don't grow too old. It's getting apparent. You said it. You're forgetting things. You forget what your watches are.
Actually, I remembered the fifth watch that I want to keep. The Porsche design chronograph.
Oh no.
I see. I can hear the excitement. Okay, with that, I think we're gonna close this topic. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that it was enjoyable to the audience. Next time we're gonna have a proper Swiss and John show with comments activated, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm running the trailer. Goodbye to everyone until the next time.